I knew Deborah was the one just because I knew she was one. I don't really know how else to say it. I don't really know that there was one individual thing that really told me she was the one. I knew she was because she loved me, I loved her.
I love her, she loves me, I'm her he.
We could go on having a conversation for hours about, you know, really important things and really things that just don't matter at all. I was thinking about marriage with Deborah from pretty much the very beginning, maybe like a month after meeting her, something like that. The thing about dating is that I feel like you're dating or you're seeing other people because you're kind of on the lookout for a spouse. You're kind of trying them out, I guess, to be your spouse. And if there isn't a possibility there, then you just break off the relationship. That's how I feel. Other people feel differently. That's fine. And so from the very beginning, I thought, okay, is Deborah, you know, was she wife material? and she definitely was all the entire way through, from the very first day that I met her. Marriage material to me is like, I mean, it's going to be different for every person because, you know, it just depends. But she's very family oriented. She's very loving and caring and really curious about everything that's going on with you. And you know, she's easy to talk to, and she's not. She likes to have fun, but she's not like a party girl or anything like that. She's emotionally secure and physically secure in everything that she is and does. Which I think is really important because I think that you do have to be kind of secure in yourself before you're ready to take on a real relationship. We would have long conversations about how our relationships with God had kind of shaped our lives and had helped us kind of mature emotionally and physically. And I think that those, it all kind of just worked together, you know, to create this perfect match. I don't think there was one single thing or one single point when I knew she was the one.
Okay.
I think that your faith and having the same faith and your, you know, maturity and relationship with God is really important part of a relationship. And Deborah, if there was one ingredient that really made Deborah the right woman, that was it. Some people ask me, you know, how was I ready to get married at 23? I don't know that there's any specific point when you just know that you're ready to get married. When you feel secure in yourself, and you find the perfect woman who's also secure in herself, and you guys are just the perfect match, that's kind of when you decide you're ready. If you'd asked me before I met Deborah if I was ready to get married, I would have said, yeah, if I meet the right woman. I wouldn't have said, you know, I wouldn't have said no, I wouldn't have said yes. I would have said, yeah, if I meet the perfect woman, the woman who's secure in herself, the woman who's a perfect complement to me, yeah, then I guess I am. But I wouldn't really know exactly what makes me ready. It's just kind of a, I think more than anything, a spiritual and emotional maturity is kind of what makes you ready. I don't know if that makes sense. I had a lot of different visions about where I might meet my future wife. This would play out, but I think the one that went into my mind most often was probably meeting her at Trader Joe's, which is a kind of it's not a health food store, it's a grocery store, but it's kind of like middle class, I guess. I don't know. The romantic story is, there's no romantic story. It was just, I thought maybe I would bump into a woman who wanted avocados or something like that, and you know, we would strike up a conversation, and I had this like romantic envision in my mind, but you know, when you actually go to Trader Joe's, you'll see that everybody who goes there is, you know, like, I don't know, 60, 70, 80 years old. Not everybody, obviously, but the majority, and so you feel like it's not really a good place to meet a spouse. But that was that was the romantic vision in my head. I had other ones, of course. I thought I would meet a woman at church who's secure in her faith, and that's important. And that is a good way to meet, you know, women, I guess. It's not a good way to meet women, but it's a good way to, you know, meet your future spouse, I guess. I never really thought about putting myself consciously in places to meet people. That was just never really my thing. I don't know why not. I don't know why I didn't do that. I guess I just assumed that the right woman would stumble upon, you know, I would stumble upon the perfect woman eventually, as long as I was, again, secure in myself and just doing the things that I really love to do, and kind of accomplishing the goals that I set out to accomplish. Eventually I would meet the right woman who's, you know, on the same path. I never really quite thought that I would meet a long-term relationship or a wife while traveling. I kind of thought maybe if I was traveling and I liked a place and I kind of settled down in that place, maybe I'd get to know somebody. But the thing about traveling is that you're in a place for, I mean, the way I was traveling anyway, you're in a place for a couple of weeks. You know, you might start up a thing with somebody you kind of like, but at the end of the day, you know, they're moving this way and you're moving that way, and it's just not really an ideal situation for meeting people for the long term. But Deborah was different because I found a woman who I was willing to change my plans for, and she was willing to change her plans for me. And she kind of, I don't want to say she made me change my plans, but she made me change my plans because I wanted to be with her and she wanted to be with me. And there's a certain point at which my plans were less important than she was, and I think the same. Very far from our own homes, and we've traveled across the entire world for each other. We're very passionate about love, passionate about sharing love, passionate about showing love, and passionate about you.